welcome to coffee time. I think we're calling it. I think that's it. But yeah, hello, YFC family. Good to see you all. Thanks for tuning in. We've got a familiar face for a guest today. Andy Evans himself. There he is.
Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's good, thank you, mate. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know it's been.
Wonderful to see your beautiful face.
I know. Thank you. I feel like I probably look exactly the same.
Yeah,
Like
you do.
nothing's
Yeah,
changed
you do.
about me.
That's good
No.
though, because people haven't seen you for a little while.
Yeah, like
Probably.
I've not done anything drastic, so people can still remember the face and the beard and the hair. Like,
Lots of
still good. Although I've
people.
probably got a bit of weight. Not gonna lie.
Do you reckon?
Genuinely, probably. I reckon when in the summer, I think I was at like 12 stone, and I think I'm at like 14 now. So like, it's quite a bit.
It's
Yeah,
good effort. All
yeah,
muscle. It's all muscle.
yeah.
Absolutely,
100%.
absolutely pounding it on.
Yeah, so some people might not recognise me because my face is right now. Um, but yeah, so maybe a bit trouble.
Oh man, it's those strong neck muscles that we can see.
Yeah, it's just bulging. I'll try and tense it every now and again. I won't try and intimidate you too much.
Most loads of people will know you, will remember you because you were on the island with us for a long time. How
I
many years?
was
4 years?
three, 3 years.
3 years. Up until last. When was it? August.
Yeah, well, Soul Survivor would have been my last thing with you for Christ, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've been gone, and then you
I
abandoned
know.
us.
I know. I kind of become an adult though, like kind of become proper. Like,
What?
well,
How
I wouldn't really say I'm an adult. Like,
how do you do that? Share with me your secrets.
what of becoming an adult?
Yeah.
I only classify being an adult as in having a full time job. In literally every single other aspect, I'm not an adult apart.
Okay.
Like, kind of getting like, I feel like there's the pressure to become more responsible because I've got a full time job doing youth work, which means like. Back in the day, I could just be like, if I mess up, it's like, well, you pass the responsibility to Chris or Ian. like, is there a problem? Or like, even like Dan, like all the other people that's
Oh
older,
dear.
like
Yeah.
the main guy, it's like flip all the weights on my shoulders. Like I gotta like do all this stuff right, all the
It's
kind of
you
responsibilities.
can't play the trainee youth work card anymore.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's
I'm
just like
just a
I'm not
student.
still learning. I'm not a proper youth worker. Like
Oh man. For those who don't remember you or were too young to, what were you? What were you? What did you do on the island for 3 years? What were you up to?
so, I was doing a degree at a Christian like Bible college called Moorlands, and so decided to do a placement with Youth for Christ and Sway and with Andy Dornan, which was good fun. So I was
Morning.
there for 3 years. Yeah, Dornan, the lad.
The man.
Yeah, shout out Andy Dornan. I think he's climbing stairs all days. From what I'm seeing on Facebook at the
He
moment. So
is.
that's
Yeah, massive shout out to Sway who
yeah,
are doing a sponsored hike at the moment, obviously
yeah.
indoors, so which means they're just walking up and down stairs for like hours a day.
I walked up the stairs just before I told David to stop to pause the recording because I was out of breath from walking up there once. There's like no
That's
chance.
actually true. I was gonna start, and then Andy was like, "Hold it." I just walked upstairs. I'm out of breath.
There's like no chance I'll be able to do this
Oh
walking.
man.
Andy did say if he wanted to do it. I said maybe, which definitely was a no. Like anytime I was climbing mountains, I was like in my head, I was probably like complaining more than the youngsters. I'm dead. Like so, but yeah, shout out to them. They're doing some good stuff, which is cool. But yeah, so I was on the island for 3 years doing some work with Youth for Christ, doing some work with Sway, whilst getting my degree in theology and youth work, which was cool.
That is very cool. How I don't actually know if I know this. How did you sort of end up? How did you end up doing that? Coming to the island and going to
Um,
Moorlands.
Well, I felt so when after like college, I actually had an apprenticeship lined up at a bank, which sounds really dead.
A
Like,
bank.
yeah, a bank. Like, I don't know if you can picture me as like a banker, like,
Oh,
you can't
100%.
like, and I had that kind of lined up, like no kind of like prospects career wise. I was
I
like,
can't really
don't know,
picture you wearing a suit. I think you just have
oh,
such,
mate,
as in for
I
a
look
job, as in at weddings, obviously you look great, but like you have such a strong jumper game that I just feel like that's why I wore this today. I was like,
really.
I didn't want to
Oh,
be ashamed in front of you because I felt like this was like an Andy Evans standard jumper.
yeah, that is pretty good to be fair. I haven't got my.
Okay,
I've got a really good hat game actually. To be fair, I've got loads of hats on the floor.
nice.
But yeah,
Loads of
had
hats on the floor.
a yeah, I know it's quite bad. I can wear my yellow bucket hat, which is slightly too tight.
Nice.
Shout out bucket hat boys,
Bucket
Dan
hat boys. Yeah.
and then Nick on that one. But yeah, we're back to how did I get
Sorry.
into
Yeah.
it?
So you were gonna
Yeah,
go and work at a
lined up.
bank.
I know, lined up.
All of that
Obviously,
money.
dream job. Yeah, got to make that dollar. Like, and then well, that was the only thing that I kind of thought. Well, I might as well. I didn't really have great A levels. Like, I mean, I got a D in media, which like was, everyone roasted me for. No offense if you get a D in media, like, but I got roasted for it. Um, and then like had nothing really lined up, and my youth group were going to Uganda in the summer, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll do something like that, not longer term, but do something to kind of gap year style, figure it out. And I saw
Yeah.
Tiafa doing, we're doing a trip to South Africa for 3 months, and I thought, oh, you know what, let's put my apprenticeship on hold, and like let's focus on this because a few people have said, oh, I think you might be called to ministry or do something along those lines. And so I went out there, thoroughly enjoyed it, and kind of thought, prayed over it. Is this long term? Do I want to do something mission based, ministry based? And I kind of felt like God was calling me to do like youth work. I kind of had a passion for the next generation to know Jesus, and so I applied for Moorlands. And my old youth worker at my church, he went to Moorlands, and he said, oh, I think you should do the placement based one, which pretty much was his way of saying campus based is too academic for you. Do the placement based one, you're not smart enough. He said that I'd probably get more out of doing it placement based.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
so I applied for Moorlands. They accepted me, which was cool. And then I was like, well, I want to look for a placement. And there's an advert on the Moorlands website for Isle of Wight Youth for Christ. So then I came over for a few days, stayed at Simon King's house.
Nice.
And then they offered me a place with Sway, which is cool. So then I was there for 3 years, which was just awesome.
So good. That's really cool. That's really cool. I didn't. Yeah.
Age ago that all started, though.
Yeah, that's a long, long,
I mean,
long
probably
time
like
ago.
this time 4 years ago that I was in the process of like applying.
That's crazy. Ah, Andy, what a
I
guy.
know.
And where have you gone now? Well, update us on life since the island.
I know. What? So
It must be worse, right? Now you're not here.
yeah, so much worse,
The
mate.
promised land.
Yeah, the promised land. I've gone away from the promised land back to just normal life.
Normal life.
Normal life. Yeah, I went back to my hometown, Worthing. Like it all really felt like God's time in that. I managed to do a 1 month placement at the church that I'd been to since I was like 17. Doing youth work for a month, which was great. And it kind of just so happened that the youth worker at our church, church I'm at now at the time, she was choosing to go in a different direction, doing like youth parish nursing, which is a lot to do with mental health and stuff, which is really cool, really good direction for her. So she was like choosing to step down, and they thought, Andy's got like no offers. He's like, obviously no one's going to have him. So like, we kind of enjoyed him whilst he was on placement. Kind of thought it's quite nice to have someone who had been to the church for a while, had the kind of, I guess, DNA of Maybridge, which is my church name, and to have me there. And so they offered me the job on an interim basis for a year, just to kind of see how I settled in, and so yeah. And then I think I was made permanent a few weeks back, which is cool. So I'm there for the long run now.
Oh, that's amazing. And how's it all going?
Yeah, it's going cool. I really enjoy it. It's like one of those things where you're like, sometimes you're like how do I get paid for this? It's like, when you do like
Wow.
youth work games and like you're doing
Yeah.
like stuff, like you're just like, it's crazy that you get paid for something that you really enjoy. Which for me,
Yeah.
the friendship at a bank lined up, that was just for money. Like to actually be paid for
Yeah.
something that
Wow. That's really cool. Young people
really,
are amazing, aren't they?
yeah, they are. So shout out to any of you guys who are watching. Shout out to you guys.
Shout out to all the young people out there.
Yeah, yeah, every young person in the entire world. But
You guys are the
it didn't
best.
scare me away. I had 3 years experience, and I could have been like, "Bun this!" Like, I don't want to do youth work. So
Yeah.
you guys didn't scare me away. Actually, made me want to do it more.
That's
So,
true. We are the reason. Not we. They. The people watching are the reason that.
yeah, you like wanting a bit of
You.
commission, like 10% of my salary. You guys made.
Oh,
It's
God.
like the the what is it? Made in the Royal Navy adverts, but it's like made in the Isle of Wight.
Made
Like,
exactly. Made the other
I should be like the new kind of like Isle
one.
of Wight theme advert. Oh crumbs, my laptop's running out of charge.
That's okay.
I should have been a little bit more prepared. Hang on, like 1 second.
That's okay. We'll bear with you.
You can entertain them for like 30 seconds. Here we go.
I think we'll just watch you. Put the
This is
pressure
like
on.
the height of entertainment right now. It all goes downhill. Nice, it's all sorted.
Oh man.
It's cool.
That's cool. That's really exciting.
I know, I am
We
enjoying it.
we miss you a ton, but that is
Yeah, I miss you guys too. To be fair, like I keep thinking like I need to make it down to the island. I never get around to it. I haven't actually taken a great deal of leave yet, so I'll try and get in there. Maybe if lockdown's over in the summer or something like that.
yeah.
Be good to see you guys. Do miss all the
Let's
shenanigans.
let's not talk about when we think lockdown will be over.
Yeah, that is true. We'll get some
Don't need to hear our predictions.
Yeah.
So that's obviously that's really cool that you've ended up at your church doing youth work. Did you, like you said, it was like, you know, you were going to do this apprenticeship, and then you kind of thought about youth work. Had you thought about youth work before when you were younger? Did you ever consider doing anything like that? Where were you at, sort of like future wise, faith wise, all of that?
Well, it was never. I mean, it was never on the agenda as a kid. I only came to faith when I was 17. So, and then so I went off to South Africa and chose to do or had Bible college on the brain. And when I was 18, so it was all quite quick. It wasn't like oh yeah, I want to be a youth worker, and then it's I'll become a Christian. I want to be a Christian youth worker. It was a case. I think I felt a call to ministry, and I think it really felt a call to young people, mainly because we see the church it's not, I mean, it's not full of old people, but the percentages of like people not engaging with church who are younger is quite alarming, and I kind of really felt like, how can I bring the gospel to them? So I think that was the kind of feel. It was only like, yeah, it wasn't on the agenda like the whole time.
That's
So
cool.
it was kind of like a late, and I do not regret it.
That's really cool. So you said you came to faith at 17.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
wanna
So
tell us how did that happen? How did you
yeah, sure. So
become a
I
Christian?
kind of so my dad would used to take me to church, me and my brother, when I was younger. So like probably till I was like maybe 10 or 11. And like, I mean, it was fine. Like, I didn't mind it. I say I didn't mind it. I did think it was like really boring, and like it was like dead, like really dead. So then I was like, I'm not going anymore. So that was like, for a few years I was like, well, maybe I believe, but I'm not. I'm not Christian. And then a little bit kind of like just classic teenage atheism, where you're like, oh no, it's not God, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
and then I was sitting with a few of my friends in science. It kind of really weirdly started with, there was a few of us who I guess used to be Christians or were Christians, And we just thought, you know, we're going to belt out all the old classic Christian songs. So we'd be like in science, we'd be like, shine, Jesus, shine. Or I am a C, I am a CH, I am a CHRISCIAN. Like all of like those ones, like we thought we belted out because there's a whole lot of atheists in our class. And we thought that's banter, like that's classic, like laddie banter. Let's do that.
Nice.
I say laddie banter, I mean laddie Christian banter, obviously.
Yeah, the best kind.
Yeah, all the best lads. Like you think of all the lads at school, like they're all singing "Shine, Jesus, Shine" all the time. You can't stop them. Like, but yeah, there was that, and it kind of brought a little bit of conversations about faith. And I guess I put on this kind of persona of being a Christian. I thought, oh yeah, go on, I believe whatever. Like words, it wasn't like a massive deal. And then my friend took me along to Alpha at the church I'm at now at Maybridge when I was about 17.
What is Alpha?
And so then it kind of, oh yeah, I should probably explain. So Alpha is like a course where you explain different, well, there's different videos and different topics about Christianity. It helps to explain it over like a meal and loads of people discussing it. And so loads of different topics on it. And I went through the course and yeah, and it started to come a little bit more real. I was like, oh flip, maybe I'm not a Christian. Like you kind of realize there's way more to it than I thought. And I think one of the turning points was that there was an Arsenal game semi-final against Bayern Munich that I decided I was going to watch on +1 on ITV so I could go to Alpha. And it was like, that was a big deal. Like my friend was like, as soon as that happened, my friend was like, he's definitely going to become a Christian at some point. So then
put Alpha before football, so
yeah, 100%. I know. Yeah,
Jesus
like that's
has got him.
Yeah, there's no turning back now. Yeah. Like, so then I went through it like different topics, and then like towards the end, like it was really kind of weird. I guess maybe I didn't have a full understanding of baptism, but they were advertising like baptism services at church, and I remembered praying, like thinking, God, is this right for me? And I kind of just felt this like overwhelming sense of His presence, and thought, well, you know, I've got to give my life. You know, it's just you just have to. Like, there wasn't a like, oh, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. It was in that moment I was like, well, I know I need to. Then just kind of was like, well, gave my life in my bedroom by myself praying one night, which was cool.
Wow.
Then got baptized a few weeks later, and you know, like the rest is history. So it's not particularly eventful, but it's one of those ones where you like, I can distinctly remember lots of things that happened in the lead up to it, which is nice.
That's really cool. Yeah. And
it's not as flashy as I wish.
Sorry?
Kind of like, it's not as flashy as I wish. I wish I was like a drug dealer, like that's like changed or whatever, but it's not as cool. Dear. Like your classic, like Jesus changed my heart, which is very cool actually, to be fair. I shouldn't have put my testimony down at all. That's just jokes.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. You just said like Jesus changed your heart. It's kind of like the summary of it, like how, like, tell us kind of more about that, I guess. What do you mean by Jesus changed my heart? What is that kind of process from like before going to Alpha, kind of saying you were a Christian, but then I guess realizing that you weren't and there was more to it? Like what did that whole thing look like?
I think it was, I guess the thing that struck me most was the revelation of faith being a relationship. Like that was like revolutionary to me. Like that was like, it's like this new idea, like something I'd never heard of. And so I think just the process of, I think just through prayer and getting to know God, He changed my desires of like where I wanted to be in life, you know. Like I think I remember the apprenticeship with like my friends and stuff, like, you know, just what they were pursuing, just in different ways. It was like I didn't know what I was searching for. Like I wouldn't like sit here and say, oh, I was just so longing for something and God filled that hole. I think it was more of a case of I didn't know what I was searching for until God came, if that makes sense. Like I didn't necessarily feel empty, but then as soon as God came, it was like, oh wow, my priorities are so with Him. I'm experiencing this kind of joy, this purpose in life that's more than I realized, more than I imagined or expected beforehand. It was like it's like being lost without realizing I was lost until I was found. Like,
Wow.
I didn't realize how lost I was, I think, and it was just kind of that changing of purpose, direction, and all of that. It like flipped on its head, you know, thinking of just going to, you know, a bank to work, to then be like, actually, I want to tell people about Jesus as a career. Like that's a mega like flip.
Yeah, totally. Wow.
Yeah.
That is really, really cool. That is, yeah, like you said, don't like shouldn't put test me down. Like that's incredible.
Yeah, no, I do love looking back at, like, you know, even like test me, and it's even in the times in my life where God's been faithful. I think that's one of the key ways that God speaks. I think is that when you can remember something that He's done,
Yeah,
like you're like, oh wow, like if you're going through a season where you feel like God's not speaking, you can look back to what He's done and be like, whoa, He's so faithful.
yeah. Like He brought me through this before. Like He's shown Himself to
Yeah,
be good.
100%.
That's really cool. Ah, amazing. We're almost out of time. It's super cool to hear your story. Um, I'll finish with a few quick fire getting to know Andy Evans questions.
Do I have to just do one word, or can I take any amount of time? Is it like
you can take any amount of time you want? It's fine.
fantastic? Nice. Full
Okay.
paragraphs on these.
So,
Like
okay, first one. What is your favourite sound?
sound.
It's like your favourite sound to hear. Not necessarily, as in not like music. Well, it can be music, but just like literally any like sound.
Does you speaking count as one, or is that like?
Oh,
No,
you're too
I
sweet.
love the sound of when you're in a car and you go over stones. You know, it's like a stone like pavement or whatever, and you're just going through there. Like the sound of that is just like lush. Like,
Wow, I've never
yeah,
thought about that, but that is really cool.
sounds beautiful.
Okay, that's cool. What do you miss most about the island?
Oh man, is it too cheesy again to just say the people? Like, definitely people. Like,
Yes, you'd say something else.
um, you know what? I really love driving about on the island. Like, genuinely, like I lived in Brook, and like the journey from Brook to Knighton on the military road is just one of the best. And going to Freshwater that way, like, just awesome. Like, you have like window down, like blasting out some songs, like whether that's by myself or with friends. Like, the drives were just awesome. And like where I live now, it's not quite the same. I mean, it's still windows out blasting the music, obviously,
Of course,
but
obviously.
you don't. I know you don't have the sea to look out to, or the kind of like the open roads. Yeah, I think I really miss that.
That's cool. Yeah, I love that. And
Yeah.
best beach on the island?
Oh my days, flipping heck. You know what? There was this amazing beach. I can't remember. Can't remember what it's called.
You know, it
But
hasn't been that long. It's only been like 8 months since you were here.
it was. I think right. I think it was technically a nudist beach, which didn't go nude to.
What?
It was like Knighton Way. You had to climb down a load of things, and we actually saw a naked guy there.
The one by Black Gang.
I think so. Yeah, it's funny.
That's where the nudist one is.
Yeah.
Not
So
that I've ever. I genuinely have. I genuinely have never.
there was right. So there was this one time, me and Ellie went down there, and then in the distance there was this guy, and we were in a rush. We had to get back, and we were like, we're not 100% sure the way back up. So I was like, right, I'm gonna ask this guy in the distance. So just while he's just sitting down, and as I'm getting nearer to him, I'm like, he's naked. He's definitely naked. There's no way.
Did you bail or did you still
Didn't
ask?
bail.
What?
Well, I couldn't see it. It was like, I guess he was covered by his legs or something. And so I was like, well, I didn't want to bail. I was like one of those ones in my head. I was like, I'm too far gone to walk up to him and turn back just because he was naked. So I was like, so mate, do you know the way back up? And he just pointed to the way. And I was like, okay, cool, man. Oh, fun times. So it was a really nice beach, aside from the naked guy.
Man. So that's your favourite beach?
Yeah, I would say so.
Wow. Okay. Do not. We're not advising anyone to go there. Just to be clear.
I don't want to promote that. Like,
No. Oh
it was
dear.
it was a good beach.
That is funny. Oh man. Okay. And final thing. Any? What's your quarantine top tip
Oh my days.
of things to do or to entertain yourself with, or a new hobby that I should take up?
Oh, right. Well, hmm. So the things that I've taken up in quarantine, the two main things, I've watched the whole of The Office,
Have you
US Office.
really the whole thing?
I know it's taken way too much time. I kind of feel a little bit guilty. Um, Super good though. Like, the Office is awesome. I love that.
I've never actually seen a whole episode.
Oh, it's so
I've
good.
only seen like those classic clips that everyone shares that
Yeah,
are just
yeah.
like hilarious.
They're like proper memes. Like, and then when you see,
Yeah.
then like I'm watching it, I'm like, oh my days, I know this from the
The
internet.
fire
Um,
drill one. That's the
yes,
main one. That gets
yeah.
me every time.
Yeah, and the first aid, like so good, so good. But yeah, that is great. Check that out. It's funny. And the other thing that I feel like this is like maybe to my shame, but I've got massively into TikTok, which makes me feel like a 14-year-old girl. But this isn't a top tip.
Are you trying to shamelessly promote yourself right now?
Yeah, yeah. Andy
What's your does
31.
TikTok I'm guessing
Andy Evans
TikTok
31.
has
If you want to follow me, like great
and
content.
Andy Evans 31
Yeah.
because you're 31 years old.
It just chose it for me. It just means that when I'm famous in 8 years' time, it will be relevant. Uh, so, but that is, I mean, it's quite fun actually. I quite enjoy it. But that's probably been my thing. But I would advise not to do that too much. It's like well addictive.
Okay.
But in terms of actual tip, probably I've found take a bit of time away from your phones and like technology. I've found that I'm spending so much time on my computer with work and on my phone, like from filming stuff or whatever. They actually, sometimes it does get a bit overwhelming mentally.
Yeah.
So I think, spiritually and mentally, emotionally, all of those things, I think to take a little bit of time each day where you're not distracted by it. Obviously time to pray, read your Bible, but to do that completely away from your phone, so we're not as dependent on it, that would probably be my main tip, I think.
Cool. That is great advice. That's really,
Thanks.
really good advice. I will
Also, you
I,
follow me on TikTok.
and follow Andy Evans 31 on TikTok. I'll put your link down in the description. Sorry, I just feel like that's what YouTube people say, isn't it?
And then like at the end, it's like, don't forget to click that bell and like,
Yeah, you can follow Andy up here. He'll be here. The thing is now I just know that I'm gonna spend like ages trying to make that an actual thing, and I have no idea how. And YouTube is gonna
so
defeat
much
me,
better if
but
you
I'm gonna
go.
spend like a solid hour trying to get a little link. I don't think you can link to TikTok on Instagram, on YouTube.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Probably
I'll
can
see.
somehow.
I'll see.
I'm
I'll
just
try.
going to start pointing at different places, so you have to now edit.
Just put them everywhere.
Yeah.
So, Isle of Wight Youth Christ Instagram is over there.
Yeah, it's up here.
Our website's down there.
Yeah, and now it's here.
Oh dear, ridiculous. I'm gonna put an end to this foolishness.
That's probably
Andy Evans, love you loads. So good to
love you
speak
too.
to you. On behalf of everyone, we miss you loads,
Oh,
and glad that it's going really well. You seem to be doing really good,
thanks, man.
even in the current madness.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Which is good. Cool. Thanks for agreeing to join me. Thanks for listening, everyone, and for watching. We hope that it was fun and that Andy's story was so cool. I feel super encouraged by that. I hope that you are too. Cool. See you soon, everyone. Bye.
Right.
Zoom wave.
Yeah, double hands.